Well, welcome everyone to the Will Steger Foundation's 6th Annual Summer Institute for Climate Change Education. I'm Nicole Rahm. I'm the Executive Director of the Will Steger Foundation. We're focused on educating, inspiring, and empowering people of all ages to engage in solutions to climate change. We're at the School of Environmental Studies in Apple Valley. We're really excited to be back here 6 years later. This is where the Will Steger Foundation held its first Summer Institute.
We did the first interview for the Steger Foundation right here on that, and I remember 6 years ago forming the foundation and the struggle of trying to get everything together. But we did have some teachers together. Here we have 100 teachers here today studying and talking about climate. It was almost a dream come true of where we were at six years ago.
Back then we had around 45 educators that joined us from the Twin Cities. It was a 5-day institute actually. We had just launched our Global Warming 101 initiative, and we were unveiling our first curriculum for grades 9 through 12 and on global warming, the basics of climate change. And we were also getting ready to put together an expedition to the Canadian Arctic and Baffin Island. And so we had the educators learning about the Arctic and climate change, and they actually wrote activities that are still available for teachers on our website. We then took our institute to a few different locations, the Science Museum of Minnesota and then the University of Minnesota, based on our themes that have changed every year. From the beginning year was really focused on the Baffin Island. 2007 we focused on the International Polar Year, again talking about polar regions and the impact of climate change. 2008 we brought NASA's climate scientist Jim Hansen, and we focused on the science of climate change. In 2009 we brought author and 350.org founder Bill McKibben to come talk about climate change and the climate movement and the lead up to the UN climate negotiations in Copenhagen, where we took a youth delegation. And then last year we actually started to look towards Minnesota again. We had it at the university, and we unveiled a teaser lesson about journaling as a prelude to build up to this year, which is really a great opportunity for us to launch our newest project, Minnesota's Changing Climate. We have over 100 teachers here, and we really wanted to come back to SES because, well, one, it's an environmental high school. It's a great partner of ours that we've worked with for a number of years, but also because of its proximity to water, the natural world. It has an outdoor classroom, a wind turbine. It's really modeling sustainability, and we really wanted to provide that kind of exposure to teachers that are coming from across the state of Minnesota.
The brainstorming things that I learn here really adapt well to the classroom, and how can they do it differently and how can they do it better, and you know, it really catches on.
For the last 2 days, teachers have attended workshops on skills to use the outdoors as a learning tool.
Once they're used to your protocols in the outdoors, you can allow them the chance to pick their own site.
From journaling and observation to understanding misconceptions with climate change to learning about the Mississippi River and specifically about the biomes in Minnesota and what climate change will do in terms of actually affecting our biomes that we have. We're really lucky, Minnesota, in that we're at this nexus of 3 major biomes, which many states in North America do not have.
I'm going to start off the year with it. I'm going to be talking about ecology right away. So I think talking about the biomes and getting right into it right away will be great. The kids will be doing journaling throughout the whole year, so I think we'll be able to talk about things and work on comparing what other people had written to about the area.
One of the first things that I really thought about was including a section on taking it outside. So each of the activities in the curriculum have a take it outside portion that encourages teachers and educators to take their students out.
The Digital Photography Bridge to Nature workshop is sponsored by the non-game division of the Minnesota DNR, and the goal of the workshop is to train teachers in using digital cameras to engage their kids outside the classroom, to get the students to use digital photography in whatever curricular area the teacher is teaching, and to get the teacher comfortable enough to use some of the new Web 2.0 sites that are interactive with the kids.
We want, first of all, the technique of observation journaling. It's different from the computer learning, which is kind of vicarious in a way, but where you go out and you actually spend time with, let's say, a leaf or a flower, you journal entry or you write it or you sketch it. You spend one-to-one intimate time with that. And that type of relationship forms oftentimes a real lasting impression. A lot of the journaling that I've done is with me forever.
Due to the fact that we had access to all of Will Steger's lifelong archives, Will started journaling when he was 8 years old, and it's such a great example for other students to be able to see what it is that he was doing and what he was thinking about and how he recorded it.
I think the thing I'm most excited about is the online classroom, because it gives the opportunity for kids to journal and share their experience with other kids and get some feedback from kids all over Minnesota.
The online classroom connections are all, for each activity, usually include students being able to go to the Minnesota's Changing Climate online classroom and learn a little bit more about the biome by looking at pictures, by interacting with some of the interactive components, looking at how climate has changed in Minnesota.
I love the idea of climate literacy and how important that is, and just continuing to be the push to get kids outside more and teachers helping them get outside.
The other exciting part about the online classroom is that it's got places for students to go and actually connect with the rest of Minnesota through sharing their own photos, their own observations, their videos of any action projects or projects that they've done in their school, and their own journal entries, like I said, observations. And there's a place for them to share those, upload them, and then comment on what other students have done. And we're really hoping that students and teachers take advantage of this part of the online classroom as well.
Just hearing Will speak has just got me really psyched about the upcoming school year. So one of the ways that came to mind is we have a Monarch Meadow. It's an outdoor classroom, and so there's going to be a lot of I think applicable, teachable moments right there in using what I learned here at the Institute.
It's like permeates everything I do, all day, every day.
The vision that Will has and the foundation have of going forward with the young, explorers and kids, I think that's phenomenal.
The Will Steger Foundation is leading the charge about providing educational materials for us to reach hundreds and hundreds and thousands of kids across our state and across our country. Other foundations could follow their lead and partner with the Steger Foundation to help us really bring the truth to kids of today and give them hope and ideas for future careers and future involvement.
You know, we talk about the teachers being the link to the students. We need, as teachers, that energy coming from outside of our classroom as well, and we need to get energized. And anytime we go to a workshop, we get a little bit of energy and resource, and the Will Steger Foundation obviously is a big part of that.